Good morning everyone. Today we'll be seeing about the basics of infection. Based on the relationship between the animal body, which is called as a host, and the infecting microorganism, microorganisms have been classified into two types. One is the parasites and the saprophytes. Saprophytes are those organisms which live on dead organic matter. Parasites are those organisms which live in the host. And there are two types of parasites. One is a pathogen and the other is a commensal. Pathogens are those disease-causing microorganisms, and commensals are the organisms which live in complete harmony with the host. Pathogens are the disease-causing microorganisms, and commensals are the organisms which live in complete harmony with the host. Next, we'll see about infection and its types. What exactly is infection? Infection is a lodgement and multiplication of the organism in or on the tissues of the host. That is called as infection. The lodgement, the organism stays in a particular place, it lodges, and then after that it multiplies. So that is referred to as an infection. The lodgement and multiplication of the organism in or on the tissues of the host is called as infection. There are different types of infection. Primary infection, when a particular organism infects a person for the first time, is called as primary infection. When a person acquires an infection for the first time, it is called as a primary infection. Reinfection, subsequent infection by the same parasite, is called as reinfection. Subsequent infection by the same parasite is called as reinfection. Next is cross infection. Usually cross infection occurs in hospitals. When a person is suffering from an infection, he gets another infection. That is called as cross infection. Next is nosocomial infection. Nosocomial infection is otherwise called as hospital acquired infection. When a person acquires infection from the hospital, and it may be because of the hospital environment, or he may get from another patient, that is called as nosocomial infection. Next is iatrogenic infection. Iatrogenic infection means physician induced infection. That is, it may be because of a surgery, or it may be because of blood transfusion, any surgical procedure or aseptic practices. That is called as iatrogenic infection. Next is acute infection. When the infection is there for a shorter period of time, it is called as acute infection, and this usually may be severe. Then chronic infection. Chronic infection is usually infection for a longer period of time is called as a chronic infection. And here usually the infections will not be so severe. Next is congenital infection. When the infection is acquired from mother to the fetus, it is called as congenital infection. It is also referred to as a vertical transmission from mother to the fetus or mother to the baby. Next, coming to the steps involved in infection. Coming to the different steps involved in infection, we have the microbial adherence, penetration of the epithelial cells, growth in the underlying tissues, infection of the lymphatic system, and infection of blood. So first is microbial adherence. The microorganism attaches itself to the host. That is called as microbial adherence, attachment. So attachment may be because of certain proteins, or it may be even because of phyla. And next is usually the attachment is said to be selective. Next is penetration of the epithelial cells. After attachment, the organism has to penetrate itself. So penetration is of two types. One is active penetration and the other is said to be passive penetration. Active penetration is the organism is actively involved in penetrating the tissues of the host, and it may be because of certain enzymes or toxic substances which are produced by the microorganism. Next is passive penetration. It may be because of a wound or a burn or a cut. The organism is able to enter inside. That is called as passive penetration. After entering, the organism has to grow or multiply inside the tissues. So that is called growth in the underlying tissue. The organism multiplies. And next you have the infection of the lymphatic system. When the organism multiplies slowly, it infects the lymphatic system, and after the lymphatic system is infected, then it results in the spread of infection to the blood. Organisms will be spreading to the blood. So that is infection of the blood. So these are the steps involved in infection. So it is microbial adherence, next is penetration, next growth and multiplication, and then you have the lymphatic system being infected, and next is the infection of the blood. So what exactly is infectious disease? Infectious disease is said to be the rare consequence of infection. So for this we have to understand what is pathogenicity and virulence of the organism. Pathogenicity is a capability of the microorganism to cause a disease. So how far the microorganism is able to cause a disease is called as pathogenicity. The capability, the ability of the microorganism to cause the disease is called as pathogenicity. The organism may be highly virulent or less virulent or avirulent. Highly virulent in a sense that few number of cells are required to cause the infection. That is called as highly virulent. And less virulent, that is when many number of cells, many number of microorganisms are required to cause a particular disease. It's called as less virulent. Avirulent organism do not cause any infection at all. That is called as avirulent. So example for highly virulent organism is Vibrio cholerae, and the less virulent organism is Salmonella typhi. So virulence is said to be the degree of pathogenicity. So there are two, it depends on two factors. One is toxigenicity and the other is said to be invasiveness. So toxigenicity is the ability of the organism to produce the toxins, and invasiveness is the ability of the organism to invade the tissues. It may be by production of enzymes. So virulence is a degree of pathogenicity. It is of two types. One is toxigenicity and the other is said to be invasiveness. So toxigenicity is the ability of the organism to produce toxins. Toxins are nothing but biological poisons. And next is invasiveness. Invasiveness where the organism invades the tissues by the production of enzymes. So coming to the bacterial diseases, there are different types of diseases. You have airborne diseases, direct contact diseases, foodborne and waterborne diseases. Airborne diseases, those infections which spread through air, they're called as airborne diseases. Example, you have tuberculosis. It is an airborne infection, or droplet nuclei infection. Next is direct contact diseases. Direct contact diseases, it may be by direct contact, either by touch the person acquires infection, or it may be through sexual contact. That is called as direct contact diseases. Next is foodborne or waterborne diseases. This may be because of contamination of food and water. So it may be because, example, maybe dysentery. The vector may be a housefly. So this is because of the intake of contaminated food and water. These are different types of bacterial diseases. And in short, we have seen what is infection, what are the types of infection, what is infectious disease, what is pathogenicity, virulence, and some bacterial diseases. Thank you.